Welcome. You are now watching Boss Lady News, highlighting businesses, nonprofits, events, talent. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Miss Britt Johnson.
Hey everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Boss Lady News. We've got an amazing show for you as usual. I hope you guys are tuning in every Friday at 6 p.m. If you're missing any of those episodes, please support Local Access TV and visit our website, which is bnnmedia.org. You can go under VOD, that's video on demand, and you can see some of the previous episodes. Today, as usual, we'll be talking with Cuban Mike about some trending topics. Brent is back on. She's going to be bringing us some networking tidbits and tips and what we should be doing. Let's remember it's 2020, so we're in that 2020 vision, right? I see you, right? I see you. Also, we're going to get a chance to speak with an amazing nonprofit. David is here, and he is going to be telling us about Boy with a Ball, how important it is to actually be bringing some of our young people to the forefront and asking them what do they need for their families to thrive in our community. And also, we've got a representative from, yes, you guys know I'm part of the family now, Wu-Tang Clan. Amar is here, and he's going to be telling us a little bit more about his part and his roles within the family and telling us more about the WuWorld Radio as well as the management team that he is on. So with no further ado, we're going to get into it with Cuban Mike. Hey!
What's going on, sis?
Hermano!
What up, what up, what up?
¿Qué pasa?
What's going on, what's going on, what's going on?
It is a whole bunch of craziness as usual.
As usual.
If you're living in the world today, you can hear all of the sounds of the people and their dissatisfaction with what's going on in the U.S.
Yes.
So what you got for us?
Well, first of all, I want to touch on something that's very, very near and dear to me at the moment, and that is me. I'm going to talk about me for the moment.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, I guess you don't know if the word got out that I got a radio station in these streets. Yeah.
No thanks to me, you know what I'm
You
saying?
had a lot to do with that, so you know you got to get your props in this building.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's the part y'all clap for me. Hold my clap, damn it, clap. But yeah, man, I got my own thing going on now. You could catch me every Friday now, 102.9.
Yeah.
It's called The Tape Deck. I'll be playing some of the dopest throwbacks and even some of the current stuff. Like, I get to run this thing.
Yes.
I saw the boss lady do her thing, so I'm gonna see if I could do my own boss thing going on.
You can do your thing. What you talk about?
So I'm gonna get it on. I'm gonna talk spicy. Hopefully you could come through and show love.
Absolutely.
Hope Brent come through and show love.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna do the daggone thing out here. So you can catch me every Friday
Nice.
at 7.
Okay, just after my show.
Hey, the
So
nighttime.
after Boss Lady News, hop on the radio and then check out his show.
Look at the plug right there. Look at the plug. So yeah,
talk
man.
Spicy.
Let's
What's
talk
going
spicy. Well, we could start off with we all know Public Enemy, right? The
Yeah.
group. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
that. Talking about politics. Yeah,
Yeah.
look what politics do to people.
Yeah.
So after 35 years, Chuck D and Flavor Flav done call it quits. Well, they don't call it quits. They actually kick Flavor Flav out the group.
So that is the official
Yeah,
word
Flavor's
on
out.
it.
Flavor's out the group. What happened was a couple of weeks ago they had a performance, campaigning for Bernie Sanders, and Flav came to an agreement saying, I don't want to be affiliated with that because I don't want to be known with any affiliation with any party.
Right.
And I don't want my likeness being used to the group.
Absolutely.
And Chuck D said, I wasn't having that. He ain't having that. Either you get with it or get out. And he got out.
He got out.
And they've been to a whole Twitter war ever since then. Flavor Flav done added his 2 cents. You're going to say, really, after all these years, you're going to let politics break up this group?
Right.
And you're going to let this be the end of all things after everything don't work for it?
Of a historical, legendary organization, group. They,
and he basically said,
passionate.
we're supposed to be against the establishment, and now you're kind of going for the establishment. And Chuck D rebutted back and said, look, man, you haven't been working for years. You don't show up to shows. You just want to just party. So it's been a real disagreement for over the years. And, I looked from afar and I thought, like, you don't kick Flav out the group regardless of the issues, in my head, because, I thought politics won't be the end all be all. But even though Flav has been a madman, if you know the history of him and his shenanigans over the years, and Chuck trying to be the stand-up guy, trying to, preach pro-blackness and positivity, and you got your man here smoking out and having an issue, and, I could assume that behind the scenes he's been trying to take care of him, and then he figured, you know what, this is going to be the last straw, but I didn't figure that politics would be the thing that that to be the end all be all. So
Well, I honestly want to say that because there's more depth behind the problems. It's
There's
not
more.
just about the politics.
Yeah.
But politics and religion are like the two major things that will break
Yeah.
up any family,
Yeah,
any
they go-
friendship,
yeah.
any group.
You ain't
But
lying.
you know what? We need to respect each other and in each other's opinions, because we shouldn't let our opinions stop us from being able to work together.
yeah, I wish I could see it in a happy world, but that's not being realistic, especially now with all the politics going on in this
I
world.
think
So
it could be realistic, though.
Yeah.
Can the Democrat respect the Republican? I think so. I have a Republican friend.
Yeah,
And I have a friend.
right.
I have a friend.
A friend.
Okay, you know. But I think that we can respect each other's opinions. She'll tell me her opinion, I'll tell her mine, and we don't get along with that. However, we're still friends.
We're still friends.
You know.
And I think at the end
But
of the
then
day,
again, I wonder. She hasn't been to the house in a while. I've been posting a lot of stuff.
so yeah, man. And next topic, you know, we got the issue with Megan Thee Stallion. She's been in a contract dispute with her old boss, Brad Crawford, I think his name is.
Okay.
But I guess she was down with him. She went and signed with Rock Nation, and she's trying to renew her contract. And dude said, no,
Rock
you.
Nation said
Rock
no.
Nation, no, Rock Nation. She's down with Rock Nation, but she's trying to but they still got like a weird
Relationship
with the other
Business,
the other
yeah.
business that she got with, and the guy was like, "Nah, you owe me this before you get out of this thing," and you know she went on the gram and you know voiced out her
Sure.
frustration.
Everybody uses social media for.
Which you
any
got to
of
be
their
careful when you
issues.
do that with business, because you know if it's something with business, you got to do that behind the scenes because it could get ugly.
Yeah.
And you know he
Again,
rebutted.
that's Megan Thee Stallion. Listen, I got a few songs. I downloaded one of her songs when I was on my way to North Carolina to look at some property, possibilities down there. But so Megan basically is renewing her contract after joining Rock Nation, but renewing some kind of relationship with her previous
Yeah,
management.
because there's some old business seller that's not done yet, so they're not letting her off
They
the
owe her
contract.
money.
They pretty much, she got to pay up.
Mm-hmm.
She got to pay up, and she wants to use the excuse that I was young, I didn't know I was signing, and kids, you gotta learn the record business. Learn what you're signing. I know the internet got endless information, and somewhere around the line when you're dealing with the record business, you're gonna get screwed. But learn your paperwork. Learn your
We need to
paperwork.
stop being afraid with professionals. If you're an artist and you're looking for management, and we're going to be wrapping this up, but reach out to an attorney, a business attorney. You guys, you can check out my upcoming shows. We're wrapping it up. You got something to end with?
Since we got a
You're
Wu,
coming back.
I'm coming back, but we got a Wu affiliate here in the building. I'm changing my name from Cuban Mike to the Arrogant Ambassador. Shout out to the Wu-Tang name I got on the website. So
Okay,
I'm gonna be
okay.
known as the Wu-Tang, name Arrogant Ambassador.
The
So
Arrogant Ambassador.
so for the
that
next
works
segment,
for you.
yeah, for the next segment, I'm gonna be known from the Arrogant Ambassador. Cuban Mike's taking a break for the next few minutes.
Get out,
Yeah.
get out. We're going to cut to a brief break, and when we come back, we've got more for you. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Boss Lady News. Thank you for staying tuned to Boss Lady News. You guys know this lady. This is Brent Harding. Let's give her a round of applause.
Woo! I'm going to give myself a round of applause. How about
Hey.
that? Hey there, dear. How
How
you doing?
are you?
I am
It's so
amazing.
cute that we always end up sometimes like matching. You've got the peplum. I've got the
Hello.
peplum skirt. I love
love
this
it.
jacket though.
Oh, thank you so much.
So
this is one
you've
of my
got,
favorites.
as usual, some of the best tidbits and tips for any of our entrepreneurs out there.
Yes, ma'am.
Any of our young people that are looking to build their wealth and network.
Hello.
So what is an amazing tip that we've maybe forgotten about?
An amazing tip is the Black Book. And I'm not plugging for anybody else. It's just, I want you to get this. What is interesting about this, everybody has said, oh, I don't keep cards anymore, business cards. I keep everything in my phone. And I like that. However, let's go old school. Now, what is old school in this? Old school is actually keeping the business cards.
I love this.
Okay. And who are your top 5 people that if some crisis came up, you could call upon. You know, a couple of years ago, I got stuck literally out in California, and it was, who are the 5 people that I can call that can save me in a situation like that? So your top 5, those are the people that you talk to pretty much every week. There's some level of connection, all righty? And then it is, who are you doing business with right now? Your top 10 that you're doing business with right now.
Making money with.
Making money with.
That's right.
Who are the top 50? You know, your top 10, those are the people you're making money with right now, so you're going to talk to them as needed. Who are the top 50 that you're probably going to talk to about, you know, either once every couple of months? Who are those individuals that you want to stay connected with? And so some people say, well, you know, I do it through my phone. I'm going to tell you something. I carry this. This is so much quicker for me to just jump in and find that person that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Then
and if somebody wants one of your resources, they can just take a picture of the business card.
That's right, right there. So business cards have not gone out of fashion. And I got news for you. If you are traveling internationally, business cards make a difference. Actually, people will ask you for your business card before they'll ask you for your website address. So that is critical. So what I have in here is I have the top 5.
Top 5.
I've got the top 10.
Top 10.
Top 50. And then I've got the top 100.
Gotcha.
And those stay steady, and I go through, I pull those out. If they're not within those categories anymore, I pull those out. So, you know, some people say the little black book, I say, no, the big black book. That's what you want to have. You want to have that someplace close by. And then the rest of those business cards, once a year, and I am getting my message out right now, once a year you have a party and you invite all the people that came with all the other cards, because there still may be some level of connection. But I have found, unless there's a reason, unless you're saying, hey, I'm never going to do anything with that person, I'm going to tear it up. But otherwise, you want to keep those. This year I'm going to do what's called the annual, the forgiveness party. So towards about October, November, it's going to be if I did something wrong, if I jacked you up, if I didn't do something right, if I didn't network with you properly, I'm going to ask you forgiveness. And I'm going to put you around everybody else so you're more inclined to forgive me for the things that I fell short on.
You know, I like that idea, because all too often do we do business with someone and then we don't like that business. So we're going to talk more about that when you come back today.
Awesome.
And right now we're going to cut to a brief break. You guys, this is Brent S. Harding, and they can visit your website as well.
Absolutely, BrentSHarding.com for sure.
All right. You guys, we've got our next guest running on in, so make sure you give me a moment. We'll be right back.
Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
How are you? Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for your support and everything. Visit the website, bossladynews.com. You'll see amazing people that I've had a chance to interview. You'll also see the opportunity to actually suggest a story. So go on to bossladynews.com, go under the suggest a story, and reach out to me. Let me know if there's something that I should be highlighting. Now, I'd like you to put your hands together for Mr. David Daniel from Boy with a Ball.
Hey.
How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to actually have you on.
Oh, me too. It's fun.
Yeah. So for, you guys, obviously, every time I have a guest on, I've known them for some time.
Yes.
I've known you for at least a year.
Yes.
And it took time for me to understand, within the UCB members,
Yes.
who you are and what you did.
Yes.
But
Yes.
who you are and what you do is so valuable.
I hope so.
Before we start talking about Boy with a Ball,
Yes.
I always like people to know a little bit about the guest.
Okay.
So are you originally from the Boston area?
No, I moved here from Nigeria 10 years ago.
Okay.
For graduate studies. I came, studied youth ministry, worked for a while in Boston, and then went to pursue doctoral studies in Chicago, organizational leadership, because I love working with people and families. I felt I needed something to do as relates to how do I help organizations and also individuals thrive and flourish in whatever skills and profession that they are created to become. So that's what I'm pursuing now.
You know what? Here in the U.S., and I don't know if I'm speaking for myself, but I think it to be 100% true.
Yes.
You know, they've built these projects,
Yes.
and people have the convenience stores, they have the park, they have the school,
Yes.
they have everything within that little circle.
Yes.
They don't venture out.
Yes.
And you went overseas and came here.
Yes.
Was that scary for you?
Yes and no, in the sense that prior to coming here with my family, I used to work for an international organization. And so I was coming to the US and I was traveling around the world. And so it was easier for me to just relocate. And when we got married, I was sensing, what do I do next with my life, with my family? And moving here to the US was a very big jump. But also we knew that it was something that was preparing us for the next work that we'll be doing around the world, either here in the US or elsewhere. And so it was kind of shocking for us, for my wife especially. That's the first time she left Nigeria and just coming to the US, and for the first time she had to see snow. It was strange for her.
It's like,
But
what the hell is that cold stuff?
yeah, I remember the first time she had to call her mom and say, hey man, have you seen snow? And then the snow, we used to live in Boston, in Medford then. The snow was up to our window. It was, for the first time, kind of, it blew her
Scary.
mind.
Yeah,
Scary.
yeah,
But
I'd
I'd
imagine.
seen snow prior to that time, so it wasn't strange for me to see snow. Yes.
I could only imagine how
Yes.
she felt. And so you also are very active within the community.
Yes.
Now, that passion to be active in the community,
Yes.
is that something that you say you developed that value as you were young, and it just was always inside you, and you brought that here with you?
Yes, I would say yes. My dad is in the military, so I grew up in the military, what they call military barracks then. So I grew up among people from all over the world, as it were. In Nigeria, we have over 500 different languages, you can
Wow.
imagine. And so in every army formation, you have people from all over that come in. And so I knew how to work with people that are different from me, speak different languages, but then we live among ourselves. So it was kind of that way I was coming from. So when I moved here to Boston, it was easier for me to just see myself, what does that really look like? Because people are wrestling with, how do I talk to somebody that doesn't speak my language?
Right.
Doesn't look like me. For me, I've lived that when I was born, and it was just easier for me to just get into that system. What was different for me was more of learning the culture here as against coming from a different culture. So I was more of the kind of the black sheep here. Where are you coming from?
Yeah.
But again, I already had the skills of how to navigate people from different culture, and that's also what propelled me into my doctoral work, because it was more of people. I wanted to learn how people work in diverse teams and in diverse groups.
Right.
Yes.
You know, I never thought about that, like being so familiar with communicating with people from different languages and being comfortable with doing that. Because here, I think many times when someone doesn't speak the same language, or, you know, politically we don't have the same ideas, we can't work together. We can't help to build our community. So your organization, Boy with a Ball.
Yes.
Tell us how that creation even came to mind.
Okay, all right. So my friend happens to be the founder of Boy with a Ball, and 4 years ago, he sent me a text. Hey man, I'm looking for someone to run Boy with a Ball in Boston. And I said, okay, if you're coming to Boston, Boston is a diverse city. You need to be able to understand the dynamics of how to work with different folks and different people group. And fast forward, a year later, they go back to me and said, David, can you help lead Boy with a Ball? And I said, I'll be interested in doing that. But because I was a student then, they had to file for my work visa to be able to get into working with them. And they did. They were willing to do all of that. So I came in to lead Boy with a Ball in Boston here. This is my third year of doing this.
I just want to mention, that's powerful.
Yes.
So the company was willing to help sponsor
Yes.
you to be able to work here.
Yes.
And many times we don't even consider that as an opportunity
Yes.
for interns, from
Yes.
international interns, to work with us.
Yes. And so the guy, like I said, they trusted me enough that they saw what I could do and said, man, we need you to be able to help this. It wasn't an easy road. We're still struggling as an organization here in Boston, but I know that the vision and mission of Bold the Bold is what drew me into it, because it's more about equipping and unleashing the potential of young people around disenfranchised neighborhood. You and I know that the city of Boston, we've got young people who are disconnected to their own reality. And so when I came in and studied youth ministry, I knew all of the skills that it takes to be able to draw people into their potential. One of the things I've learned is that every individual that I see on the street has something, irrespective of what they look like, what they look like, what they speak, or even how they even dress. Because the tendency for us to be able to categorize or even stereotype people from different groups is also evident among the folks that we live here in Dorchester. So my work is just, how do I see people, one, as giving them the dignity, or what I would call the image bearer. So they are created just the way I was also created. I'm privileged to be able to get where I am. They also have got that privilege. All they need is who's going to work with them and unpack what that potential is and push them into where they can thrive and flourish, so that their families can also become citizens of that community, where that community is also able to support them well.
Wow, yes. I love how you mentioned, how you just said how to unpack and build.
Yes.
It's almost like unlearning and relearning some of these skills.
Yeah.
We're about to go to a brief break, but people are able to volunteer.
Yes. Yeah, so one of the things I love doing is that every week we get into the community, that, like you do know, the model that we use is what we call Love Your City, where we're looking for passionate individuals who are passionate about loving young people and their families, where we go into that neighborhood to love and build friendship that is reciprocal. We're not just coming there and say, oh, we know everything about you. No, we're saying, who are you? What do you need? How do we connect them and give them hope to the resources that is readily available within our neighborhood, yet we think it's not there.
Right.
And so we get into that. So that outreach is what we do every Saturday. We're hoping to start one in the coming week when the weather is a little bit warmer. And then go in, knock on doors, build friendship with people, and begin to ask the question, what are young people, what are some of the needs that young people are facing? And so if you're interested, if you have a passion for young people and their families in Dorchester, we'd love to have you. Come talk to me. My email is david.daniel@boldtheball.com, or even give me a call on 978-907-5257.
See, I wasn't sure if you were willing to throw that number out there.
I'm willing to do that. It's not about me. I think one of the things I do is that this is not about me. Life is all about other people. The privilege you have is for other people. So I believe, as a man of faith, I believe that I'm not saved, or what the things I have, it's not about me, it's for the next generation.
The next generation.
Yes.
You guys, don't go anywhere. We are on set with David Daniel, and his website, if you want to check that out really quick, www.boywithaball.com. We'll be right back with him, okay? Don't go anywhere.
Did you, what did
Thank you for staying tuned. We are going to actually give you guys a chance to take a look at his website while we're talking as well. And I think it's so important that people value the volunteering that can be done in our community by different people. So when people do volunteer, what is it that they're doing to represent Boy with a Ball?
And so, as much as we're looking for volunteers that will go into our neighborhood to love families and young people, what our organization also does is that we're also interested in your own development. So when volunteers come, because that is what we do, we are interested in how do we develop you as an individual, as a person. So when you have the potential of going into that neighborhood and also be able to really impact the people that you're impacting. And so it's a two-way thing. We're impacting the volunteer, we're also training you to also impact the people, the young people and their families that you're meeting, getting involved in reaching out in our community. So that's kind of things we do. We get our volunteers, maybe even jump further, we recruit our volunteers from our communities.
Right.
Yeah, we recruit from our community. Also the good thing about Boston is that you've got schools here that kids or even young people are also looking for opportunity to impact other people's lives. And so we go into there and say, hey, do you want to make a difference in somebody's life? Come join us.
Right.
Yeah, because what you're doing is that you're changing somebody. It takes time. The difference about what with other organizations than with Ball the Ball is this idea of relationship. Relationship.
That's so important.
You can't quantify relationship. It takes time. For some, it's just fast. For some, it takes time. And because we've been wired not to wait and even listen, when people come into your life, they already have an idea what they want you to become. So if you're not becoming what they want you, I don't think really is my
Right,
mind.
they give up.
They give up. No, what you're doing is that you're helping the individual unpack what that person is created to become, not your own failed dream. I've learned this principle about I've got 2 boys. I have learned not to impact my failed dreams in their life because there are things I want to become in life, and the tendency for me to just see that in my kids is always 100%. Because I'm pushing them towards what I have failed to achieve and say, you can do this. While my son is saying, no, I'm not good in this. I'm good in this. No, do this because I want you to become the best doctor. Who told you? He's not created to become a doctor. He doesn't have to be a doctor. He's been created to become an artist. What do I need to do to help him? And so that's one of the things, my philosophy of working with people, to help them unpack who they are by just asking the question, who are you?
Right. And young people are so moldable.
Yes.
And they have, especially, the ages between 13, 14, up until even 21, they will transform themselves into so many different things.
Yeah.
And I can honestly speak for myself. When I joined the Big Sister program, I had a big sister that at first I thought she was amazing. And then I'm like, she's too tough on me. I don't like hanging out with her anymore. But I think it's so important that we realize that these next generations are who we're going to have to depend on. And it's important for us to be mentors and not be afraid to get out there and unpack what they might need.
So again, even to I think you're right. What young people are looking for now, they're looking for manuals of how to do life. Technology has come in so handy that anything a young person needs, he just goes, Google, tell me this. And so Google will tell him whatever he needs. What he's looking for is a relationship. How do I spend time with this person? Say, no, what you're reading isn't reality. Because we build our lives based on the celebrities, models, and things we see outside, and we think our life is going to be like them. No, we don't. We are created individually, uniquely created. And so what does that really look like when I'm talking to, I had a group that I'm working with now, one in Dorchester and then one in Rosendale. One particular guy just said, what do you want to become? He was saying so many things. Who are you? Oh, my mom said I'm going to be in a prison. And I said, I left that meeting that night. I couldn't sleep. Because if a young person is saying he wants to be in a prison because his mom said, oh, that's where you're going to end up. Again, we also as parents need to watch the words that comes out of our mouth.
That's so important.
Because it's what we tell our kids have an impact in their lives. So that guy is just growing.
And it's a seed that's being planted.
Yeah, he sees the prison as something that is, so he will introduce himself, I go to blah, blah prison, because he sees schools as a prison. Because he's gone into school with that mentality that his mom has said, if you don't do this, you're going to end up in prison. So I want to go to prison. So he thinks prison is a good place to go. No. And so how do I spend?
Or a rites of passage, especially in our community. We have been teaching our young boys that prison is a rites of passage.
Yes, and that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. I tell young people that you don't have to go to college to be successful. You can go to a trade school and be successful. What you need is the lessons. Do you have the empathy of living life? Because whether you are a police, a doctor, a nurse, whatever you are, you need skills that will help you. If you're not the best, if you don't have the work ethics of being a successful doctor, a successful policeman, whatever that profession is, then you don't live your full potential.
Right, the ethics, the business ethic, the work ethic. Some of their parents don't have that.
Yeah, they don't.
But what I think is so valuable about Boy with a Ball is the fact that you're speaking to the young people and they're unpacking what their family might need. So if the boy or the child does not have a work ethic, where are they getting that from?
Get it from home. Yeah. You know, that's why, again, you can't even love a kid without loving his family, because we all have part of a story. And our story boils to where you're coming from. I give you my story. Like I told you, I come from a military background. I grew up with a diverse group, so I've learned what that really looks like. I've traveled quite a bit around the world. I've seen people from different culture and different ethnicity. That has taught me that when I meet people, when I don't speak the way you speak, I remember people say, "Oh, you have an accent." I say, "Yes, I do have an accent because I grew up in Nigeria."
Right.
And I went to a British school. So if I want to speak with you, I'll probably be speaking a language that you don't understand. Just the way you also speak to me, I don't understand what you're saying.
Wow. We've got to wrap up this interview now, and I want to make sure we have you back.
Yeah.
And maybe even we can take the cameras out and maybe follow you guys someday.
Yes, I would love to.
And give people an opportunity to see what mentoring and volunteering really looks like in our community.
Yes, please do.
Well, thank you so much for coming on,
Thank you very much
David.
for having me. I would love to come back again. I would love to do this.
That is the plan.
Yes, thank you very
That is the
much.
goal.
Thank you very much.
You guys, don't go anywhere. We've got more amazing people for you to meet. You're watching Boss Lady News. Stay tuned, okay? We'll be right back.
What up, yo? You got the wizard right here, chilling with the guard move. You know what I mean? We're in the cut, Wu-Tang Management. DJ Coalition is something that's Wu-Tang Management put together, bringing DJs from all across the world together under one banner. Right now we got about 20 to 40 DJs in the USA area, taking it international. So for y'all DJs out there that want to be part of a movement, you know what I mean, part of a movement, where we can keep true hip-hop alive, keep the true sound of the streets alive, without having to be controlled by the, by the big corporations and all that, you know what I mean? Come join the DJ Coalition, come join Wu-Tang Management, let's keep rocking, yo. Hip-hop's forever, Wu-Tang's forever. Resurrector, inside your sector, bum bum.
movement. So tell us about yourself and how you're a part of the family Wu-Tang Clan and what you do.
Well, with the radio station, actually, me and John Mook Gibbons, who Ridge's cousin, anytime you hear the stories about somebody selling music out the back of the trunk, that was Mook.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So we decided we need our own outlet, pretty much, to get music out there. Because right now, you know, music is kind of one-dimensional, and a lot of people that might make great music might feel like my music doesn't fit the criteria of what's going on in mainstream media today.
Right.
So we decided to go ahead and create our own network. As you know, the Wu-Tang fan base is very large, international. So all we're trying to do is get those people, and most people that know Wu-Tang knows we represent a certain kind of hip-hop.
Right.
Not just any hip-hop, witty, unpredictable talent and natural game, which means you got to have something unique, you got to be witty with it, you have to have real talent. So these are actually the elements that we look for when we're looking to any kind of music that goes on the station, any kind of artist that we bring on the station, and that's what the whole movement is about.
Right.
Is to give people that that option. Like, yeah, you can go to mainstream, do what everybody else is doing, but if you're still looking for that, what I call cultural hip hop music, is you can come to us.
And what I appreciate about the radio and the type of music is whether it's R&B, hip hop, underground, it's conscious. There's something that you're learning or something that's being said that you can relate to.
Right.
And that's why internationally, everybody can relate to it.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you also are part of the management team.
Right.
How's that? What is your department with that?
For the management, because generally when it comes to management, we manage more than just the artists. Like you said, the WuWorld Radio, we got the DJ Coalition, we have a bunch of other projects that we're putting together. When it comes to personal individual artist management, I work directly with Capadonna. We actually started a record label, God Love Family Entertainment, LLC. So
God Love Family
Entertainment,
Entertainment.
LLC. So, and of course, the reason why we chose that name is because those are pretty much the most important things in life.
Right.
You know, God Love Family, that's, who could say anything against that at this point?
Right, right.
You know, so we've created that so that we can also be a foundation for people that is trying to get in. And like, you can't get on a label like God Love Family and be spitting, the typical kind of stuff. You got to have some sort of substance to what you're doing. So our whole movement is just that. It's, you already got the mainstream, let's give them an alternative.
Right.
Right.
And so some people would categorize non-mainstream as underground.
Right.
And not really understanding that there is an underground demographic, whether it's for poetry that's underground or if it's for R&B singers that are underground, and especially, rap, because in mainstream music, it's so simple, it's so easy.
Right.
Now, how do you feel about the social media platforms that people are choosing to use? But before we discuss that, we actually have a video here that you wanted us to know about.
Okay.
Why don't you introduce that video and what it is?
So this is Cranberry Juice. This was off of Capadonna's project, hip hop mixtape. We dropped one prior to that called Hook Off. You guys need to check that out. Go to www.glfent.com. But that's the first hip hop album with no hooks.
With
Straight
no hooks.
bars.
Okay.
Like, if you're a fan of lyricism, you got to check out Hook Off.
Nice.
Right. This one, like I said, is from the album that came after that, which is a hip hop mixtape, produced by Pete Rock, and it's me and Cap.
All right.
And their benefits make the food.
Pete Rock, Capadonna, Amar Devine on the engineer. DJ Intrigue, we believe it's for real. Yo, believe you can achieve, and you can achieve. Know the ledge, and you never fall off of the edge. The heart manifests emotion, thoughts come from the head. Yo, it's power in the word, don't be misled. Stay prayed up and well read. Keep the little ones well fed. No selfishness, be the daily bread, so we think wiser. Move consciously. It's no fellowship wherever that nonsense be. Attacking my intellect cause you feel I'm a threat, but it's God love flowing, and the flowing is a test to take something that was nothing and turn it into best. So let it manifest. My thoughts digest the gospel. Hood nigga hostile. My environment is where they always wanna knock you. I speak like the coming of Christ. Yo, it's pain when I write. Brothers killing for spite. My people won't unite. That's why I write until it's blood coming out of my mic. We use cranberry juice to clean out the blood, and prune juice might clean out the mud. But one thing's for certain, the truth will never budge. It's only one God, and thou shalt not judge.
Try to stay focused, know we still
it, it's harder now. Everywhere I look, they won't break me down. Job to the missus, beeping over, so what do you say? Boys at your doors, your boys looking suspicious with sidewinding attitudes. Never touch my latitude, nigga, I was up on game. Peep your attributes, knew what to look for, like Jews in a bookstore. When it came spitting they venom, I had my foot on a vertebrae. Grab a knife, start surgery, rip the fangs out of their mouth. Had the courtesy to let y'all breathe. Really ought to credit that to the trees. Higher degrees, cause as a regular man, I probably wouldn't understand. Or to lay you on the ground, call a part of God's plan. But now, I got more connected to my center. In a place and a time where our suckers can't enter.
We use cranberry juice to clean out the blood, and prune juice might clean out the mud. But one thing's for certain.
So behind the scenes, while you guys were watching that, you had mentioned that you guys actually found that location also, and some of the pieces that were visible in that music video.
Right. I mean, the illest part to me was the, I forgot, it's in Brooklyn. I'm trying to remember exactly what part of Brooklyn. But we found it was in front of a corner store, and it was a boombox. It was actually a garbage can.
Wow.
Painted as a boombox, and that's what I was sitting on in the video. I mean, to be honest with you, that's my favorite part of the whole video.
So what you're actually sitting on is the garbage can, but it's painted like a boombox.
Exactly.
And what I just love about Black people is when we're really talented and interested in making a change, we do things like that.
Right.
We paint a garbage can to look like a boombox to beautify our communities. And I think that's what I think is so influential with what all of Wu-Tang has ever done, is just encouraged people to be better, to do more.
Right.
We've got a few minutes left. Tell us a little bit more about you and what you're doing.
Well, all right, so for the radio station, make sure you download the app. Everybody got to get the app. We got the WuWorld radio app. Go to your app store. It's free for right now. It might not be free for too long, so get it while the getting is good. You know what I'm saying? And if you're an artist that's wanting to get onto the station, there's different shows. You can submit your music. If you go to the app, we'll have email links and things like that. So definitely we're looking for talent, because I'm quite sure there's a good section of the community that's like, all right, this sounds like the same thing that I heard yesterday and the day before.
There's a big part of the community that's always looking for some new music.
Exactly.
So people can download the app, which is WuWorld Radio.
Yeah.
And you can find the app under your Mac products, under your Android products. Make sure you download that. And what I like about the app is you can listen to live music being played.
Right, exactly. And we actually have a Wu TV as well, which is going to be a segment to where, like, if we're doing a in-studio show, you can watch the simulcast of the video broadcast. And we're also going to be introducing new original programming through that as well. Like, RZA worked on a couple of projects, and a couple of other clan members worked on their own little individual visual projects that we want to start getting on there as well. So everything's in the development process, but it's, the foundation is there. If you're looking for real hip-hop, if you want, like me, coming from New York to here, like a 3-hour drive, I don't want to keep looking for music. I want to play something that I know is going to play my kind of music.
Right.
And that's WuWorld Radio.
And for many of the people out there, and it's crazy because this is what I keep pitching to people, for many of the people out there, if you're looking for a fitness track, right, you can download the WuWorld Radio app and you've got an amazing fitness track there. Whether you're the muscle head that's in the gym or if you're the lady on the treadmill and you just keep running. Like, I think people are so intertwined with music that they should know when it's promoted that it's for everybody, it's for everything.
Exactly.
And so, you guys make sure you get that app.
It's interesting you said that too, because TuneIn Radio, which is one of our partners, they actually reached out to me because he was on some, listen, I listen to WuWorld Radio every morning when I'm doing my workout. And they actually were introducing like the internet radio in vehicles. And now keep in mind, they work with everybody, all the major radio stations. But in the interview, when they were introducing it, they brought us up because we're really their favorite station. It's kind of like, you can listen to the radio or you can listen to Wu-Tang Radio.
Right.
Right. So that's, that was a big plus for me. Like I said, he already, that's his regular daily routine, is listen to WuWorld Radio, wake up, listen, do his workout, and that's it.
We've got 1 minute left, and I want people to be aware of what are some potential things to maybe look out for.
Well, GLF is always doing work. We got 2 new Cap videos coming out. I got a new video dropping. Capadonna got a new album dropping. Black Love. No. Black is beauty, right? Go to www.glfent.com, get the updates on that. But yeah, that's it. We pretty much try to put out good content music, stuff that we know people look, stuff that we're looking for and can't find anywhere else, so we created and for everybody else.
And just the concept of that platform, you can create what you don't have and be the first, okay? And so thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
I'm gonna slowly be inviting more and more of you guys on, and hopefully, you know, one day we'll have like a show that's just dedicated to all of you and see how we can pull that together. So we wanna have you back. And you guys make sure that you check out the app. It is the WuWorld radio app on all platforms. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
My favorite Ray verse, that's a hard one because it's a lot of Ray verses that I like, you know. You know, some of the younger things, you know, even Cream. You know, I love Cream, you know what I mean? Cream is a beautiful record to me, you know what I mean? But that ain't my favorite verse though. You know, that's one of my favorite verses when I started. But that's a hard one. I can't even answer that one because, you know, I really write though. I mean, it may be something on somebody else's that I did that I like, but it's multiple joints. The hook for Cream came about, cream was a word in the neighborhood that was used for money, you know what I mean? You know, it was like, for anybody that's hungry and starving, everybody feel like if you got a sandwich, you work for something, you know what I mean? Back then, you know, dudes would eat Heroes all day or whatever. But cream was something like a cartoon, like when Tom and Jerry, when he splashed the cream on the sandwich, fighting over they food or whatever. So cream became that kind of vibe to us, like, I need my cream, like, you know what I mean? Goofy. But then the hook actually was done by Method Man's partner, this dude named Raid. You know, he came up with the words, cash rules, everything around me. Because see, back then we all used to, at one point, write graffiti too. So, you know how everybody break down words in their name? Like, you know, my man name was Lask, L-A-S-K. So Lask would write on the wall, Lask attacking subway cars. You know what I mean? Like, break down his name. Like, everybody being creative with their graffiti game. So that kind of came from that vibe of it, where it's like, yo, break down Cream. As if it was a crew, what would be the name of it? And, you know, Method Man's man came with the name Cash Rules, everything around me. Now, my cousin from Brooklyn, he actually invented the name, because he used to be coming to Staten Island and work for us in the spot. And, you know, I ain't gonna say we was jerking him, but we would make staying there 23 hours a day. You know what I mean? And he may get about $500-600 a week, you know what I mean? But he was content with that because, you know, Brooklyn is like, it's rough in Brooklyn. So for him to be able to come to Staten Island and make $500 a week, you know what I mean? He felt like that was a lot of cream there. So, you know, sometimes we'd be like, you get your check Friday, and then sometimes it'd be like, you gotta wait till the following Friday. So now, he like, yo, now I'm seeing all this money y'all making. And y'all.
Thank you guys for staying tuned. And like I said before we took that brief break, the networking tidbits and tips that Brent S. Harding has given me, I've actually used, I've implemented them. So I think that's like one of the even most important pieces is people hear things that they could do, should do, but do they act on those things?
You know, the fortune is in the follow-up.
The fortune's in the follow-up,
yes.
Absolutely.
A really good friend of mine shared that, and I use it all the time. The fortune is in the follow-up because we meet people, and it's about, you met them, are you memorable? How do we make ourselves memorable? How do we stay connected? You know, and it's also about, is there an exchange? Is there something you gave to me which has placed me here? My role is to figure out what can I give to Britt or what can I give to that person so that it is an exchange and we stay memorable with each other. That's a critical component. And so often we're so busy taking all these cards that we're not even thinking about, is there something that, is there a connection?
Right.
Is there a reason why that person is a contact and that it makes sense for them to stay connected? And right now, you know what is powerful is when somebody can make a phone call for you and something happens.
Absolutely.
I haven't gone through that interview process.
That is so true. So with the coalition, I guess my appointed role is director, and there was a phone call placed. And I said, you know, we really need to get on it to have an account available so that we can take in, you know, friends' funds and so on and so forth. So a phone call was made. And the power of the phone call, because of your affiliations or your network.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Makes all the difference on the planet, which actually leads me to, I wanted to expound on BNI, and in particular BNI Rocks, which is Business Network International, Roxbury. We have a chapter. Took 2 years, but we have a chapter.
Absolutely.
A chapter of
And
business
people are
owners.
there.
Yes,
6
they are.
o'clock and 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, they're there, okay?
Yes, you can attest to that. Every Thursday morning, 6:45 a.m., we network for a great half hour, and then we go into meeting, and it is really about connecting, creating contacts, and referring business. We have done a minimum of $100,000 worth of business between each other since October, and it's only speeding up. And I know there are folks out that I'm going to say, and I'm counting them right now, you all need to put your information in the app so that we can qualify what we're actually doing. But we are doing commerce with each other here in Boston. That is referrals, and BNI is probably one of the most successful organizations in the world for referrals. They've got 8,200 chapters around the world, 262,000 members, and we're doing it here. We're going to be opening up other chapters in the neighborhoods of Boston by the end of the year. So right now, the focus is on memberships. I have to tell you, we are looking for contractors. So if you are a contractor and you are looking for referrals, come on and see us. It's every Thursday morning at 6:45 a.m. And everybody says, why is it so early? Because we want to be up before our competition.
That's right. And what we tend to forget is just because the banks open up at 9 or offices open up at 9, people are at work prior to that. They just don't make themselves available to you until 9.
That's right. But they are very definitely there. And you know what I'm really proud of is that we're the only chapter in the entire country that looks like us. And a full chapter doesn't mean that's going to always be the case, but it's great that we've got a foundation that started just that way.
Right.
I've had the privilege of being the president of the group since October. And my charge right now is to help us grow, to demonstrate that we can do commerce with each other, that we can help each other's businesses to grow. There are so many. We need an estate attorney. We need the skill set of all of from the handyman on over. We need that skill set. We're looking for either a tax preparer and an accountant that wants to be a part of this group. And we're looking for folks that want to contribute their skill set and receive something out of it. We need our business groups.
Absolutely.
And we're looking for this one to be a premier one that really helps our businesses and our communities to grow.
We're wrapping this up now.
Sure.
We're going to get Cuban Mike back on the set. But how can people get in touch with you to become a member?
You know what? I am so passionate about them becoming members. I'm giving you my cell phone number, 617-438-7949. Text me. I respond to text messages again, 617-438-7949. I will text you back. I will invite you. We definitely want you there because we need each other.
So we're going to call Cuban Mike on out here. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You might as well come on out.
Absolutely.
Bum rushing the show.
Just bum rush the show.
Just bum rush the show.
So
Yes.
I know you have a few more topics.
Yeah. Oh, well, so I ain't got that much time. I'll get to it real quick. Of course, if you know what happened in the fun world of the internet, there was an incident that happened with a lady that did a commercial for Black History Month. She was promoting this feminine hygienes for Target. And as she was promoting the commercial, there was an online outrage of white people complaining because there was a Black woman promoting this business and it was some sort of feminine hygiene for Black women, and white people was being outraged, saying, well, how come they got this thing for strong Black women but not for white girls? Long story short, after the complaint came out, her sales quadrupled. It went up 60%. So I guess there's no such thing as bad publicity.
No, not at all. I mean, at the end of the day, if people realize, if all cultures get an opportunity. And this is something that Marlon Solomon actually talked about on the Boss Ladies Boston, which is a separate show. I'm going to plug it right now, where I get a chance to talk with other people from the Boston area for a full half hour. But one of the things that he spoke about is cultures come and their business is their culture. And Black Americans don't have something to sell that is not American.
Yeah.
So when the Chinese come and they have Chinese food restaurants, or they have their clothing, or they have their designs and things, or if the Italians open up a restaurant and it's Italian food, nobody says, hey, that's Italian food. Why isn't it American food?
Yeah.
And you've got Italian dishes.
Yeah.
But you know what? Get mad.
Get mad.
Absolutely.
Get big mad.
Get mad. You know, keep doing what you're doing. Our businesses are here. We deserve to be acknowledged as Black businesses for sure. Was there another topic?
Look, I want to give an apology to all my online friends. You know, me being the arrogant ambassador, you know, sometimes you gotta learn how to humble yourself. So I know I've been accused of being like obsessed with politics. I'm not obsessed with politics, but I'm just very fascinated with it, because at the end of the day, passion is a very different. It's a very big difference. I'm passionate about it, but I'm not, you know, overly obsessed, because at the end of the day, it's all grimy, it's all dirty. I'm at a point in my life, I'm not even voting for the person who could do like the best job. I'm just voting for the person who could give me the less headache.
Right.
And you know, they're not always gonna deliver. They're not always gonna give you 100%. Just don't get greedy. Look out for the people.
Right.
And don't let politics separate yourself from friends and family.
Absolutely. We're going to wrap this up now. So, guys, thank you for staying tuned to Boss Lady News. We try to make the show as entertaining as possible every Friday at 6 p.m. Comcast Channel 23 right here. Support local access TV in any city by going to their website, and ours is bnnmedia.org. Become a member, become a producer, volunteer, become an intern.
Do something.
This matters, okay? Our voice matters.
And listen to me on Fridays, darn it. 7 o'clock.
Voices matter.
Voices matter.
All right, peace, y'all.